morning students, welcome to computer online class. So today we will be covering unit 2 electronic spreadsheet advanced part 4 create and use macros in spreadsheet. So let's start the chapter. So the topics which we'll be covering today is what is macros, advantages of macros, then creating macros using a macro reader, then running and executing a macro, then using macro as a function, sorting macros internally, create a macro to behave like a function, using the macro as a function, then passing arguments to a macro, then using macro with the arguments passed, then arguments to macros are passed as values, writing macros, it acts like a Boolean function, then accessing cells directly, sorting the columns using a macro. So let's start. So macros in spreadsheets. Example, repetition of same task is boring and slows down the work. Are you able to see the figure over here? Red boxes and the green boxes and the white one. So let me give you an example that many a times we have to perform similar tasks on the sets of different data, like we are preparing the result of the class. So the maximum and minimum marks of the students can be the same. Many of the students may have the maximum marks and many of them will be having the same minimum marks. So again and again entering the same marks, maximum and the minimum marks, this task can be boring. So for this OpenOffice.Calc provide us with the feature of macros. So macros that helps us in recording the actions. Macros records the action. On the screen, the red boxes are the repetitive tasks, and for not doing the same task repeatedly, we use macros. So what is a macro? Macro means a saved and the name sequence of the commands that are stored with the view that they can use later on. A thing which we can save and give a name, it can be viewed afterwards is a macro. They are useful for that situation where similar actions are to be performed repeatedly for new sets of data every time. So we can save a macro with a particular task name. If we have saved a heading, then if we are saving a heading, then we have to give it a name heading, so that further if we want, we can identify it with the heading part. So it is a group of instructions that a program performs by using a single command. So group of instruction which a program performs by having the single command. Next is when we create a macro, we are recording even mouse clicks and the keystrokes. So whenever we are creating a macro, we are recording single click of the mouse and the keyboard. Whatever we are clicking, it is being recorded by the macro. It is an important part that macro is recording each and everything. Now advantages of macro. What are the advantages of macro? The major advantage is the speed of the execution of the program. The speed which is being used at the execution of the program. It is the major advantage. Then saves a lot of time. It saves a lot of time. Reduces the possibility of human error. Human error, usually a human does many error, then it reduces the possibility of the human error. Make complex computations easier to perform by sorting them. It sorts the data so that it may not be complex for doing the work. Automate the repetitive action. It automates the repeated action, the actions which are being repeated again and again. Creating macros using the macro recorder. So what is recorder? Recorder means the feature that records our action and then perform them as it is. So what is the work of recorder? It is a feature that records each and every action that we perform as it is. Recording the action that is being done through mouse and the keyboard is recorder. Macros are saved with a particular name, and whenever we need to perform the action, we can do it by running a saved macro. So macros are saved with a particular name, whatever name we are providing. Then whenever we need to perform the action, we can do it by running a saved macro. For example, the classes in the school. So example you will be seeing in the practical. I will providing you the link of the practical along with this PPT. Creating and recording a macro. How do we create and record a macro? So steps are given here. open a new spreadsheet. We have to open a new spreadsheet, and then we have to enter the data on which we have to apply the macros. Then we have to open the data on which we have to apply the macros. Then select a value and copy it by right clicking the mouse and choose the copy option. Then we have to select the values and copy it by right clicking through the mouse and choose the copy option from there. Then select the cells in the range such as A1 to C3. Then we have to select the range, like we are selecting the range over here, A1 to C3. Then click tools, macros, then record macros. From there we have to click on the tools, then we have to go on macros and then record the macro. It will start recording of the actions in the macros and display a dialog box with the stop recording button. It will show that it is starting, that macros is being started to record, and it will show us the stop recording button. Then perform the action and then stop recording. After you have finished working, then we have to click on stop the recording. The Open Office Base macros dialog box will open. The Open Office Basic macros dialog box will open over there. Click the plus sign next to my macro under it and standard click module 1. Then we have to click on the plus sign next to the my macros option, and under it on the standard, then click on the module 1. Type the name of the macro and click on save. Then we have to type the name of the macro and then we have to click on the save button. Then macros is being created. Running and executing a macro. Macro create once and run many times. So macro is being created once and it can run many a times. To run a macro, follow the steps. For running a macro, steps are given over here. Step 1 is open the worksheet on which you want to execute a macro. So we have to first open the worksheet on which we want to execute a macro. Then select the range to apply formatting. Then we have to select the range for apply the formatting. Then click on the tools, macro, and then run the macro. Then we have to click on the tools option. From there we have to go to the macros option and then the run macro. Click on plus sign to expand my macro, then standard group and choose module 1. Then we have to click on the plus sign to expand my macro, then standard group and choose the module 1. Then choose the macro to be run and click on the run button. Then we have to choose the macro to run it and click on the run button. Formatting is performed, then formatting is being done. Using macro as a function. How we can use a macro as a function? So what is function? It is basically a subroutine which returns a value. Firstly, we have to learn what is subroutine. Come to subroutine definition. It is used to handle a certain task within a program. They are used to split a task into individual procedures. So subroutine is used to handle the certain task. Within the program, we have to handle the certain tasks. They are used to split a task into individual procedures. So it splits the task into individual procedures. Programs are divided to enhance readability and reduce the error provenance. So programs are divided to enhance the readability and reduce the error occurrence. Then function. It is basically a subroutine which returns a value. It returns the values. It is used at the right side of the variable declaration. So it is being used at the right side of the variable declaration. Example is sum, average, etc. Storing macros internally. So how we can store macros internally? Steps are provided over here. Step 1 is click tools, macros, organize macros and open Office Basic. Then we have to click on the tools option, then macros, then organize macros, then open Office Basic. Then on open Office Basic macros dialog box open. Click on the macro name and click edit. Click on the macro name and then we have to click on the edit option. A code window opens having the code for all our macros. So a code window will open which will be having the code for all our macros. You will see that each macro begins with the keyword sub and enter with end sub. So we can see that each macros begin with the keyword sub and it ends with the end sub. Create a macro to behave like a function. Steps are here. Click tools, macros, organize macros and open Office Basic. Then we have to click on tools, then macros. Then we have to click on organize macros and open Office Basic. Select any macro name and click on edit. We can select any of the macro name and we can click on the edit option. Now in my macros code window, click in an empty space and type the following code containing function name. So in my macros code window, click on the empty space and from there we can type the following code which will be containing the function name. Function name 0. This is the code. You don't worry, you don't have to learn it. It will not be coming in your exam, this code. This is the code. Then save the code and close my macros window. After typing this code, you have to close the my macros, save it and close with my macros window. Passing arguments to a macro. So what are arguments? The values that a function used to perform calculations are called arguments. The values that are functions that a function used to perform calculation, it is called argument, or the values passed to a macros are called arguments. So the values which we are providing to the macros or passing to the macros are known as arguments. The arguments are always written in parentheses and are separated with commas. So arguments are always written within the parentheses and it is being separated by commas. You can see in the figure example, sum num1 parentheses num1 comma num2, then number n. So parentheses and commas are being provided over here. Then to pass arguments of function, write the code as follows. So this is the code. So for passing the arguments to a function, we use this following code. And steps are given here. Click tools, macros, organize macros, open Office Basic. You have to click on tools, then you have to go on macros, organize macros, then open Office Basic. Select on any macro name and click edit. You can select on any macro name and then click on the edit option. Now in my macros code window, click in an empty space and type the following code containing function name. So now in my macro code window, you have to click on the empty space and type the following code containing the function name. So code is giving here, function name, optional name, then function code over here, then end function. Then last step is save the code and close my macros window. Then you have to save the code and click on close my macro window. Using macro with arguments passed. Steps are over here. Open the document. Firstly, you have to open the document. Now type the macro that you created as an argument in an empty cell in your sheet with the equal to sign. Then you have to type the macro that you create as an argument in the empty cell in your sheet with an equal to sign, that is equals to value 16 in one cell, equals to value D3 in another cell. Then press the enter key. The value will be doubled. Arguments to macros are passed as values. So arguments passed to a macro from calcs are always values. So arguments which are passed to the macros from the calcs are always the values. It is not possible to know the cell if any are used. So it is not possible to know what cell is if any which are used. For example, equals to positive sum D4 passes the value of the cell D4 and positive sum has no way of knowing that cell D4 was used. So example is given here which shows that positive sum D4 passes the value of the cell D4. It passes the value of which is given in cell D4 and positive sum has no way of knowing that cell D4 was used. So two ways are there. By value we can find it, by val or by reference by ref. Writing macro that act like built-in function. So how can we write macro which act like a built-in function? Although calcs finds and calls macros as normal function, they do not really behave as built-in function. So calcs finds and calls macros as normal function, but they do not really behave like a built-in function. For example, macros do not appear in the function list. So macros do not appear in the function list. It is possible to write function that behave as regular function by writing an add-in. So it is possible to write the functions that behave as a regular function by writing an add-in function. Accessing cell directly. How we can access the cell directly? You can access the OOO, which means openoffice.org internal objects directly to manipulate a CALS document. So we can access openoffice.org internal object directly so that we can manipulate a CALS document. For example, the macro adds a value in cell A2 from every sheet in the current document. So macros adds a value in the cell A2 for every sheet which is in the current document. So here function sum cell A sheet 0, it is given, a program is given here, so you have to only see this diagram, you don't have to learn this program. Now next is sorting the columns using a macros. How we can sort the columns using the macros? So firstly we have to learn what is sorting. It means arranging the data in ascending and descending order by using a macro. So sorting, as we know earlier from the previous classes we are studying, that what is sorting? Sorting is arranging the data either in the ascending order or the descending order. But in macros, what is sorting? It means arranging data in ascending or descending order by using a macro. So what are the steps for using a sorting? In macro, steps are: step 1, click tools, macro, record macro. We have to click on tools, then macros, and then record macros. Then second step is select the range of the cell. Then we have to select the range of the cell. Then step third is click on the command data sort. Then we have to click on the command data and then sort. Then step fourth is choose the desired sort field and desired sort order from data sorting dialog box. We have to choose a desired sort field and the desired sort order from data sorting dialog box. Then click stop recording, give a name to your macro. Then we have to click on stop recording and then we have to give a name to the macro. Then we have to click on save, data will be sorted. So on this turn we will be studying till here. I will be providing you the practical link. You have to go to the practical link. Firstly you have to see this PPT and then you have to go on the practical link for seeing the practicals along with this. And the remaining part we will be covering on the next turn. Till then, learn all the things which I have provided you. Study each and everything well and complete your work on time. Thank you.